per 9000's game room.
PilotWings was released on the 21st of December 1990 in Japan, which was 1 month after the launch of the Super Famicom, the Japanese version of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. The game was a masterclass in how to effectively use the new hardware's Mode 7 scaling abilities to construct an original game experience. The developers had used Mode 7 to help show you soaring through the skies in a light plane, a rocket boat or hang glider, and also to give players the experience of hurtling towards the ground before pulling their parachute strings and guiding themselves down to a hopefully gentle on-point landing. The game really helped to show what the Super Nintendo would be capable of when using Mode 7. Mode 7 allows programmers to rotate, shrink or enlarge graphics quickly. Pair this with the fact that PilotWings included a special chip called the DSP-1 chip inside the cartridge to assist with the Mode 7 effects, and you have a very important title here as it both demonstrates Mode 7 and how some Super Nintendo titles could push beyond the limits of the original hardware by including chips within the game cartridges to perform special functions or boost the machine's capabilities. It's important to realise though that chips like this can prevent some titles from being run on some of the more basic EverDrive style cartridges, although often the expensive ones have chips in to act in these ways so you can run the games. Sure, there'd been flight sims before PilotWings, there'd been Sega's Afterburner, and there'd been early versions of Microsoft Flight Simulator, but everything so far had either been pretty much war-based or a very complicated sim that tried to be as much of a real-life representation of flying as was physically possible at the time. It was all rather deeply serious, and no, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with jet fighter games or serious flight simulators, but with PilotWings, Nintendo brought something completely different and refreshing to the table. And this is often the Big N's strength. They find a new way to look at something, and by doing this, offer up an experience so unlike what is already on the market. The game doesn't exactly have a story, so to speak of, well, at least not in the traditional you're a hero on a special quest sort of way. Basically, you join a flight club where you meet instructors who you train under. First you meet Tony, who instructs you in light plane flying and parachuting, then you meet Shirley, followed by Lance and then Big Al. Along the way, your skills with the light plane and parachuting will be tested, and you will also learn how to fly a rocket pack and how to hang glide. These instructors will frown if you fly badly, and their eyes will grow wide with astonishment when you get a great score. It's little touches like this which really give the game a fresh and kooky flavour which helps it stand out. PilotWings is not a game that holds your hand. You can read the controls before you start, but it doesn't really teach you how to play. You literally pick parachuting and start falling from a great height, working it out as you go. If you fail though, there's no death. You can fail your lessons and have to start again, but you can do this again and again until you get the required score to progress. PilotWings' strength lies in the fact that there is a great sense of satisfaction to be had from passing a lesson and in seeing your instructor's eyes light up as they congratulate you, especially when it's taken you a few goes and you're finally seeing your perseverance and practice pay off. There is often a great risk-reward dynamic to the game, as there will be safe and easy places to land your parachute or rocket pack, which won't score you a high score but will probably allow you to score a passable score. Or there's hard-to-land landing platforms which are high risk but very high reward, so it's a great game if you're a score chaser and want to keep trying to better your previous efforts. There are also some amazing bonus levels which I won't spoil by showing you. After beating Lesson 4 though, something unexpected happens. You're sent on your first secret command rescue operation. This is a helicopter combat mission, and to be honest, it feels kind of out of place because suddenly you're flying a helicopter in a combat situation which plays far more like a shoot 'em up, and it kind of reminds me of the Strike series of games, you know, Desert Strike, Jungle Strike, etc. This plays pretty well, but in all honesty, it feels out of place in this game. I don't think it's the best fit with the rest of the game content to suddenly throw something combat into what was previously a pretty chill flying sim sort of minigame collection. Okay, once you've beaten the first command mission, well then you unlock the harder difficulty, which basically means that you will be replaying the previous 4 missions with stricter scoring targets and harsher weather conditions. So you will have to do the same thing as before and better, while taking into account things like snow and very strong winds. I think it needs to be said that this game has wonderful music. It really fits the gameplay. You have music which really conveys the feelings of sweeping and soaring through the air. If F-Zero was the game that sold gamers on Mode 7, then PilotWings came along soon after to prove that Mode 7 wasn't just a gimmick, it was a real game changer. I have a real soft spot for PilotWings. It is just this amazing palette cleanser in the Super Nintendo library. It's unique and different enough that it always seems to slip its way back into the cartridge slot. I can't help but say I love this game and I feel that I need to give it a 9 out of 10. I like it enough that I was tempted to give it a 10 out of 10, but I can't help but admit that it does have its faults. Despite this though, I not only love it, I would also put it in my top 10 Super Nintendo games list, and I would argue that it is the best entry in the admittedly not massive PilotWings franchise. What I'd really like now is to see a new PilotWings on the Switch, and I don't think the N64 or the 3DS were improvements on this. I'd like them to go back to the original PilotWings and study everything that's great in this game and sort of build something from there. New instructors, new missions, new flying vehicles. Come on Nintendo, do it. Okay, that's Kerr9000 signing off saying keep on gaming.